Quinoa, quinoa, quinoa. Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a dish using quinoa. Now if you're not familiar with quinoa, it's a seed that's very similar to rice. It cooks just like rice, except it's not a grain. I believe it's actually related to the spinach family, so this is very far from being a grain. It's naturally gluten-free, it's high in fiber and high in protein. This is such an incredible ingredient to work with. So we're going to be making quinoa with saffron and squid. This dish is over the top good. It has such an incredible flavor. This recipe is done in under 40 minutes and we're gonna do it all using just one pan. Okay guys, stick around because this is gonna be good. We're gonna get started by cutting up our ingredients. Begin by finely mincing 2 cloves of garlic. Then finely dice half of an onion. Finally dice about 1/4 of a large red bell pepper. And finally I have this tube of squid here. It was previously frozen. I've thawed it out. I'm gonna rinse it under cold water. Pat it dry with some paper towels. Cut it open, pat the inside of it with some paper towels, and then start cutting it into small squares. Okay, now we can start cooking. Grab a large nonstick frying pan, heat it with a medium-high heat, and you want to add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin Spanish olive oil. Once the oil gets hot, season it with sea salt and add the squid into the pan and mix it around with the oil. About 1.5 minutes later, start taking the squid out of the pan and transfer it to a dish. Then using the same pan with the same heat, add the diced onions and the minced garlic and mix them around with the oil. About 1.5 minutes later, add the diced red bell peppers and mix them around with the garlic and onions, and you want to stir this occasionally. And about 3 minutes later, add the squid back into the pan, along with a generous 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper and mix it all together. Then add 2 cups of water, season again with sea salt, and I'm going to be adding 1 of these packets of saffron in powder form. And give it a gentle mix. Once the water comes to a boil, it's time for the star of the dish, quinoa. I'm gonna be adding 1 cup of quinoa into the boiling water. Now, before I do that, I'm gonna rinse it under cold water. This takes away some of the bitter flavor that it has in the outside shell. Now, most store-bought ones like this one have already been pre-rinsed, but hey, it doesn't hurt to do it again. Then add the quinoa into the boiling water and mix it around that way it's evenly distributed. Once it comes to a boil again, place a lid on top and lower it to a low-medium heat. It's been 15 minutes since I added the lid into the pan and the quinoa should be perfectly cooked. You can always tell when quinoa is cooked because all the seeds have popped open and there's no broth left in the pan. That is very important that there's no broth left. I'm going to serve this directly out of the pan. So go ahead and turn off the heat. Now I'm going to transfer the pan to a flat surface, remove the lid, then fluff up the quinoa with a fork and sprinkle it with some freshly chopped parsley. Okay, now I'm going to give this dish a try. And look at that, that's exactly what quinoa is supposed to look like when it's perfectly cooked. Okay, here I go, salud. This is truly stunning. So many different textures to this, between the veggies, the quinoa, the squid, and then the flavors are just simply mind-blowing. Guys, you guys saw it, this is very easy to make, it's a very healthy dish. The only problem here is I think I'm gonna eat this entire pan. If you enjoyed today's video on making this recipe, please hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Until the next time, hasta luego.